Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me for pricing at tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a rose gold 2010 model year launch from Audemars Piguet. This is the Jules Audemars Chronometer with AP escapement. It is 46 millimeters in diameter by 13 millimeters thick by 52.6 millimeters lug tip to lug tip with a 24 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, you can see the watch fits, but only just. You're going to want a wrist at least the size of mine, preferably larger, to wear this watch well. That said, it's not as thick as you might anticipate. At 13 millimeters, it will slide underneath the cuff. We'll do a quick down the barrel shot. Over the top. Keep in mind I'm pulling the strap down a little bit tighter than would be normal, and then the cuff shot once more. The strap is light brown with medium rectangular scale alligator leather. It has a matte finish. You can see there's a little bit of bolstering or stuffing. There's a folded edge, a monotone stitch, and on the bottom we have calf skin, and you can see this is a brand new Audemars Piguet factory strap. We have an Audemars Piguet factory single fold deployant clasp. It is the logo style clasp to help prevent you from dropping your watch while donning or removing it. You can see that the case is sophisticated in its assembly. It's characteristic of the Jules Audemars dress watches. We have these lugs that are welded into the case and then evidence of the weld removed by hand. That is a very laborious, expensive, and traditional way of making a case, but it also enables these sharp breaks between case and lug that are difficult to achieve with mass production techniques like stamping and machining. So here you can see welded lug construction. We have longitudinal satin finish on the case band and then vertical satin finish on the outer faces of the lugs. Lug hoods as well as bezel are polished. You see the case back is also polished for contrast. We have an Audemars Piguet branded crown and then a very shallow conical bezel. The dial is almost one and the same as the movement. This is caliber 2908, and a lot of the actions on the dial side, including both mainspring barrels, the hacking mechanism, the power reserve indicator, and the platform type escapement with balance. So let's take a quick look at some of the features here. 2 barrels enable a 90-hour power reserve, which is quite impressive given that this watch beats away at 43,200 vibrations per hour, or 6 hertz. Remember, a dotograph would be 2.5 hertz, something like a Audemars Piguet Royal Oak 15400 would be 3 hertz. A standard Swiss high beat movement is 4 hertz. A Zenithal Primero is 5 hertz, 36,000 vibrations per hour. This is 6 hertz, 43,200 vibrations per hour. Now you can see the mechanism just below the barrel, so I'll give you a better look at it here. It is an elaborate hacking mechanism, and you can see that it's also a keyless works. That allows me to actually stop the balance, which is a surprisingly uncommon feature on autologerie movements. You can also see that the dial is a series of layers built up from the base plate, which features a sort of a solarization or snailing on lovely anthracite base. It's actually closer to silver than anthracite, but it's a rich dark gray. Then we have these secondary elements like the platform balance, and it's a single-sided cock that holds it. We have the twin barrels visible. We also have a click to prevent the barrels from running backwards. And then we have a lacquered radial Roman numeral dial with palm-style hands. We have apple-style hands. Now you can see that there's not one but 2 hairsprings, 2 flat hairsprings. It is a free-sprung balance, and so all of the adjustment is done using variable inertia bolts on the balance itself. But by having 2 hairsprings that are symmetrical in design and 180 degrees opposed to each other, when one, due to gravity, is inclined to run fast, the other, by an equal and opposite margin, will slow it down, auto-correcting the effects of gravity in any position faster than any tourbillon ever could. And then, of course, we have the power reserve indicator for the 90-hour manual wind power reserve over at what would conventionally be about 730 on the dial. You can see this says Chronometer, and indeed it is. I've seen the COSC timing cards for these watches, and they easily run to within less than 1 second a day. Audemars Piguet's boast was, with this unlubricated Robin-style escapement. This watch would be able to achieve precision of plus or minus 1/3 of a second per day, and the chronometer timing cards back that up. It is designed after the chronometer style single direct impulse escapement designed by Robin in 1791, and the idea at the time was to create something that was stable for a chronometer. Creating blocker mechanisms that prevent jumping or stalling was part of the challenge that Audemars Piguet Jules undertook and accepted when developing the Robin escapement for a wristwatch application. So it has a blocker system that prevents it from stalling or accidentally jumping, and the impulse jewel directly acts against the balance, so there is no Swiss lever here. Now on the reverse side, you can see the ratchet wheels of the barrels are spectacular. They are concave and mirrored with black polish. They have solarization at their center. You can see there's also solarization at their edges, and then the teeth of the ratchet wheels are actually micro-beveled. You could see that we have the best of Audemars Piguet here. This is the AP you imagine, with a vintage pocket watch style double ratchet, and then we'll just demonstrate how that works as I wind the watch. And then we have twin barrels to ensure a very progressive and consistent release of torque to the escapement. Two barrels are always better than one in that regard. We have a set of trains from the center wheel all the way down, and you'll note that the trains feature sharp interior angles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then we have 4 more for a total of 16 interior angles, and all of these structures are both exterior and interior beveled by hand. This is AP at its best. You can also see that there's satination across the surfaces as well as on the wheels themselves, and all of this is adjusted in 5 positions like a chronometer should be. It's also water resistant to 20 meters, so don't take it swimming. A technical tour de force, a dream realized, creating the Robin escapement for a wristwatch application and a chronometer to boot. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.